Spacey, sticky, super cush. It just fits different. Experience a new high. Ultra, stay out there.
Megan Hicks of I Run Far. I'm with Ben Dhiman. It's the day after the 2025 UTMB, and you're the men's second place finisher. Congratulations, Ben.
Thanks, Megan.
Has that settled in yet? That feeling of yes.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like you either win, finish, or don't finish. So I finished and happened to get second. That's cool.
You said one of the things that'll stick with me from your pre-race interview was that you were here to do a smarter race and to execute. Does it feel like you accomplished that main task?
Yeah, it does. I mean, so I ran quite a bit with Tom, the eventual winner. We are A6 teammates, but we didn't have any plan to work together. We just happened to find a good rhythm. And part of what we were doing out there was actually talking about our pace. How is it feeling? How is
Talking to each other.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Just sort of voicing, because there was a moment in Courmayeur, we were second and third. There was a French runner, Theo Detienne, in front. And we were saying, like, should we go on the front foot a bit? And we're like, no, we'll just run steady here through the valley before Grand Col Ferret, and I bet we'll get them. And so we were kind of relaying the leads a bit, and random backpackers even in the middle of the night are out there. It's funny.
That's
so
amazing.
out on the trails, and they're like, oh yeah, he's 5 minutes, he's 8 minutes. But then we started to see that headlamp bulb starting to like come back our direction a bit, and we're like, with just a steady pacing, we should be able to find the front there. But it wasn't, we were sort of keeping each other in check, as it were. Like if we were pacing, we were trying to say, like, does this feel reasonable? Does this feel good? And I think it's kind of cool to have those little check-ins. And also, I mean, if you're chatting already, you're in a good spot.
Yeah. If you're in the ability where you're like in a place where you can chat and you feel like chatting, that's a good sign.
Exactly.
Yeah. So to rewind a little bit to early in the race, it was nice off the start line, but then already by Les Houches, it had gotten kind of rainy.
No, what they did is they actually started the race with the first raindrop. They just waited for the first raindrop, and then they said go, and then he just downpoured from the start. Really, like the first kilometer there, we were soaked.
We expected that the weather was going to be a complicating variable, and it delivered basically from the start.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, with the forecast, I'm very skeptical of meteorologists these days because I don't know if it's a computer or it's a person, and it's so often wrong. But it delivered even heavier than I think was anticipated. With the rain, because I think they didn't even think it was going to rain that hard that early, but effectively, as we moved up in altitude, the rain went to sleet and then snow, but we were coming into those regions already soaked. So proper mountain conditions.
Some of the other guys in the front that we talked about how early on people were kind of looking at each other being like, is he putting on his jacket? Is it jacket weather? Like looking for external cues rather than internal cues, and that being sort of like potentially an early driving factor for how things turned out.
I think like on the first snowy section, it was Tom, Albin, and Courmayeur, I think. And we were all just rain jacket, gloves. I wasn't even in gloves yet. I went gloves on the next one. And then the second one was a bit more burly, Col de la Seine. And John stopped because John was like, I didn't even know if I should put on another layer underneath. And on that one, he had stopped to put on an extra layer.
Okay.
But I think Tom and I were pretty determined to just get up and over as fast as possible. That works too. But I got very cold on La Seine, and we charged down. Downhill seems to generate heat. I mean, you're descending in altitude, but there's something actually going on, I think, with the body generating. I don't know if it's the muscular contractions on the downhill running, but you kind of start warming up. You can feel it first in your fingers. But there's a little aid station there, and they had boiling hot soup. So I just filled
Col de la Seine?
Yeah.
Like a La Combal. Okay.
Yeah. So I just filled up a bottle with that boiling soup and was just passing it hand to hand to get the hands back, and then tuck it into the vest and zip up, so it's just the heat's kind of penetrating.
You had your own like little heating
pad. It was great.
Yeah.
It worked really well actually.
So to like put together the weather with the competition there. I think going through like the worst conditions of the night were Col de Bonhomme, Col de la Seine,
and then Foray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the first half of that, there were 5 of you, sort of close together. Maybe you weren't together, but there's
it was a loose
interplay
group.
there.
Yeah. Yep.
Were you, like, you talked about later on after Courmayeur, like Grand Col Ferret, approaching that, working together with Tom. Before Courmayeur, like Col de Bonhomme, Col de la Seine. What was that accordion like with that front group?
We were just setting a good, solid pace up the climbs, hiking a lot, but pretty serious hiking. But I think this is really the best because I ran Col de la Seine last year, like ran the whole thing.
Up it.
Yeah. And then this year we hiked basically the whole thing.
Interesting.
I mean, we ran all of the little ups and downs before you get there. And then we just set off into a really steady hike. But the craziest part was the segment difference. Like my time was only like a minute slower.
Isn't that
hiking.
interesting?
I'm like, man, I was so much more in control of my effort. I felt so much better getting over there. I'm like, you're only a minute slower. You hiked the whole thing. But you're able to distribute your energy in such a more linear way, and your metabolism is somewhat more stable, I think. And when you're running, it's just peaking and dropping. And so yeah, that was basically, we were kind of like, nobody was saying like you go first or whatever, but we were all peeing a lot because it was cold. So somebody get off and pee and another person would take lead
over.
And then we were just kind of moving in that direction and relatively kind of having a good time. Like I mean, second, it was chilly, but it was kind of nice to share those moments together.
Courmayeur is like, the unofficial halfway point. And I don't know, it seems to be also like a psychological transition for a lot of people where folks are like, let's just get to Courmayeur as best as we can and then start the race ish.
Yeah.
Or not.
I think that's kind of a fallacy. I can't imagine doing 80 kilometers and then just like saying now the race starts.
Okay, here we go, guys.
Yeah, maybe that's like a tactic to slow yourself down a bit, but I mean, realistically, you take a lot of damage. It doesn't matter how slow you go, you're going to take damage getting there. And so I would rather get there in just an efficient way. Yeah, you run at a good pace, but not an aggressive pace. But you have to realize, like, you're going to take damage whether you go really slow or whatever. The key is to take care of your fueling and hydration and such. So we got there. I was feeling pretty good, but I mean, it's just the middle of the night. It's kind of just not a nice time to be running anyway. So I don't know. I can't imagine running through there and having like crazy good sensation.
You said at the start of the interview that leaving Courmayeur, you and Tom Evans were working together. Théo Détienne was in front of you. In that transition between Courmayeur and Grand Col Ferret, the both of you overtook Théo and went up to Grand Col Ferret in first and second place, respectively. What did that feel like?
Well, I knew it was going to happen. I mean, like, I ran with Théo before. I don't like this. He was kind of an uncharted territory. So he went up the Montfarve before Courmayeur. There's a little climb. He ran like every step. I was like, he's trying to pull Vincent Bouillard there, but he's not Vincent Bouillard. He's a good runner, but
he was going to come back at some point.
He was going to come back. We weren't worried because we were moving so well that it's like, if somebody's actually outpacing us right now, they're going too fast.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grand Col Ferret, among the crappiest conditions of the day there. But day started to come going down into La Foulée.
Didn't get first light until after La Foulée.
Actually, after La Foulée.
Yeah.
Was that, I mean...
It's a long time in the dark.
For me out
there. Felt
there.
like a never-ending dream. Not a great dream either.
Slight nightmare?
Like just some kind of purgatory dream.
Are you still in purgatory right now? Eventually came out of it?
Today I'm feeling pretty good.
Daylight came.
Yeah. It was a beautiful morning too.
Gorgeous.
So beautiful.
Switzerland knows how to do sunrise.
Oh yeah.
Daylight came. there was also some daylight coming between you and
Yes.
Tom in front of you, but
A lot,
also
actually. Yeah.
you and the men behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Did it feel like a little no man's landy there for a while? Or?
Yeah, but it's a situation I've been in a bunch now, where you just get outclassed, but then you're sort of not really enough. People behind you aren't close enough to get into a fight. This can be a bit tricky, and it's kind of a. What I don't like is you get simultaneously very like fear of getting caught.
Yep.
And self-conscious of like really wondering if your pace is good or not.
Because there's
But
nothing
then you're
to cue
also
off, right?
like, you also don't even want to know how bad the gap is getting in front of you, because it's also just sort of doesn't feel good to know you're just getting beat on everything. So it's tough, but you gotta, it's like I said, it's like 100-mile time. You just got to get into the hard moments and get through it, man.
Isn't that crazy that you can be running in second place in UTMB in the final 50K and then be kind of like in that weird psychological headspace of like, am I doing enough?
Mm-hmm.
But you're literally in podium position at UTMB.
Yeah. I'm very hard on myself, so I was really disappointed with my uphill legs up the steps climb from Trion.
Okay.
I was telling the camera runner, I was speaking to him in French, I was telling him how je suis nul, I'm nothing. I have nothing left. I have no gas. I was like, he's going to catch me. There's nothing going on. That's not even like me. I never even say things like that, really. And but it was coming out. It's coming out on the climb. And I'm like, maybe it's sometimes it's nice to have the camera runners, because you could just have your little personal therapist
your
with
buddy
you.
there.
Yeah, who's gonna then just say, "You're doing good, keep going." Like
offloading your psychological baggage.
Totally. But my focus I think my uphill gas left because during the cold periods I didn't have any hunger, and so I was just we have a fueling strategy, but I also rely on just like, how does the gut feel? Is it empty? Put some fuel in. But during the cold, I was going up and over with no wish to eat anything. It was kind of in that little fight or flight mode. And so I passed quite a bit of time in the night without eating. I mean, I still ate some. I knew like I had to keep gels coming in from time to time. I was eating sushi rice and gels. But I think like I got really glycogen depleted. And once that happened, the gels, they weren't even doing anything anymore. It was just like the legs, they were so gone that but so what I did is my focus shifted then to the downhill running, and I try to balance it out by pushing on the down, and that works actually. Like you can, like Ludo is a perfect example, somebody who just leans into the downhills every time and then catches people there. So that you can actually use it as a strategy, but it's also good psychologically, because you're like, even if this isn't good, that'll be better.
It's interesting that you feel like you lost your power for the uphill, but you maintained like the muscular endurance to repeating those hard downhill steps.
I didn't have soreness on the downhill until the very last descent.
Okay. I mean, this really is kind of a downhill runner's race. Like if you can still manage to run some of these downhills, because they're steep enough and they're rocky enough that if you can do that, you can make up so much time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's why Ludo is always in the top 6, right?
There you go.
Because he can smash all the down. I don't know if he has a technique or what, because some of the guys yesterday were saying, because even on the first downhill, he was like in the middle, he wasn't in the front, and then on the down, suddenly he's in the front.
He's there.
Yeah.
Barrel rolling.
And some people said they saw him, and they're like, it's unbelievable how fast he was going on the down. And normally, you'd assume that running with that kind of pace downhill would have some irreparable damage on the legs. So maybe it's his 50 years of running experience that's like built this quality, or like I know he has this like hits with the heel a lot on the down, or I don't know if he's got some special Jedi trick.
He's using every millimeter of the stack height on those Hokas.
Yeah,
totally. Did you have any sense, like, when it was clear that the men behind you were quite a distance back. Did you have any sense on that last section that things were going to turn out, or were you
I was
line to the
worried the
line?
whole way.
You were.
I'm just never satisfied with the gap. You could tell me it's 20 minutes. I'm going to say,
You have
God,
a
it's not
9-year
enough.
gap.
Yeah. So, and I was just, like I said, I just wasn't feeling like myself. So I was questioning everything. But yeah, I mean, even some of my ASICS teammates, they came out to Flégère and they're like, you can just chill on the downhill. Like, you
And you're
got
like,
plenty
no,
of time.
I can't
I'm like,
chill.
no. Imagine he has some insane climb and then the last thing I want to do is get caught, you know? Because to me, I did say it's finisher, champion, not finisher, but it does make a difference to get second or third, to me.
You said ahead of the race that like doing what you did yesterday was something in your capability. Like you knew that in your heart you could do that. It was a matter of executing it.
Yeah.
Do you feel that sense of accomplishment, like I did it, or is your immediate reaction like hungry for a little bit more?
I think I invest a lot of my time, energy, mental bandwidth to this race because it's an important one. So I think when you do that, whatever it is, if it's a race or it's another thing in your life, you have to, whatever happens, and you have to just try to appreciate as much as possible and take what you can from it, because it's not a guarantee that it's going to be success like that. But the athlete in me has the sweet tooth for the first place. But that's fine, we can keep working on it. But for the moment, no, I'm like, all right, did the loop. Now I can really grasp what I think I can do a bit better or whatever. But I'm also like, yeah, it's just like, this is a big race. So if you get on the podium, it's a good stamp on the resume.
It's a pretty good stamp on the resume.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else left in your 2025 season, or is it involving playing with your kid and couch sitting?
I have left the back end of the season open.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go really other direction. I'll run like 5K on the road or
Yeah.
something. I don't know, like change gears up, because it's been a lot of this for a while. This is pretty great, but I like to like really pivot off races, to change the training, create some novelty, have some fun. So we'll see.
Look forward to seeing your 5K time this fall then.
Thanks.
Congratulations on your second
Megan.
place finish.
Appreciate it.